Hello my friends, so this will be a little bit of a longer video. I've been a little unwell, tested positive for the vid, so I haven't really done a great deal, not moved my body much, haven't really eaten much and drunk much, lost loads of weight and muscle and all that crap. So I need to move my body. Now I'm back in the world of the living. So I thought I would record literally the first throes of movement that you could do after not feeling very well. So my body is, I've got no aches or pains or symptoms or anything, just a bit of general kind of fatigue still. So yeah, the body's been stiff and hasn't really done much. So I will start. Oh man. That probably didn't come across, but there was a rather nice adjustment in the lumbar spine on that very first movement. So this is a mobilization technique, predominantly for thoracic spine, so the upper back, the neck and the shoulder. You inhale, and you exhale. You don't force the range of motion at all. So I'm not trying to stretch out. I'm not forcing myself into either direction. I'm just going to a comfortable kind of end range of motion, and I'm literally just trying to move the spine a little bit. You need to keep your hips fixed, so the hip doesn't kind of roll and open up, so you want to keep the hip nice and fixed as you run through this movement. In terms of repetitions, well, just do as many as you feel you need to. I've prescribed that minutes at a time for clients. Turn my back on you now, just being rude to the other side. So like I say, I've prescribed that minutes at a time, or you can just, do 10, 20 repetitions on each side. And when you go alternate sides, you're just having a feel for the difference between the left and the right part of the body. Just, do you feel the same? One side feels tighter or stiffer, or how does it feel? Alright, and then we move into snooze after that movement. Now, a little thoracic mobilization. So obviously we've taken the spine and sort of like a left to right movement pattern, and now I'm going to go through an extension pattern. I imagine this to be pretty stiff today, because it hasn't really done much. The old spine. So just cradling the neck, you support the neck, the head then will take care of itself. And all I'm going to do is just arch myself over the foam roller, inhaling as I go over the foam roller, exhaling. Or I might exhale actually as I'm in the extension, just to try and get the body to relax around the roller, or I may exhale and come out of the movement slightly. So it's not a crunch, I'm not giving myself an abdominal workout. Inhale, exhale. So why didn't I exhale when I was out in the extension? I just didn't feel like it. So sometimes you'll go into that extension position, and the body, because you're inhaling, obviously the body's getting slightly stiffer. And so you feel like you might want to exhale and allow the body to sink over the roller, which is absolutely fine. And you can do that no problems. It just, my body didn't want to do it, I didn't want to feel it. So, couple on that first point, and then I'm going to move. About an inch to a new vertebral body. This one definitely feels stiffer, just straight away. I wouldn't say it's locked up in there, but it's tight. Those muscles are tight around there. Not too bad. Move again, about an inch. Now, most people, if you drive a desk for a living, if your thoracics are going to be stiff. So don't use one of those like rumble rollers. Just use a nice smooth foam roller. This is a 4-inch foam roller, so you don't want the big 6-inch ones. For this, just the 4-inch one is big enough. You can just roll the muscle, so you can just hold yourself in a position, lift the hips, work the body up and down that roller a little bit, just to kind of work through those muscles, massage those muscles off. You can do that, not a problem. Or you can do the extension work. Actually, it doesn't feel too restricted, which is nice. All right, let's pull in my favourite piece of exercise equipment, the old Swiss ball. Love a Swiss ball. So again, just a question of just moving the body like it hasn't been moving very much. It's been in bed a lot. It's been on the sofa a lot. Not doing a great deal. Actually, doesn't feel too bad. I thought I'd feel really stiff, but not too bad at all. A bit tight through here. Yeah, that's not too bad. So again, when you're stretching, when you're moving, just use your breath as much as you can. Breathe into positions. If you're kind of extending the body, if you're going away from the center, so if you're going away from the belly button, then inhale. If you're going towards the belly button, exhale. So as you get big, inhale. As you get small, exhale. Just move. Don't hold your breath. It's probably more important. If you're stretching and moving the body and you hit any kind of really tight points, just breathe through it, breathe out, let your body relax. Exhalation is coupled with relaxation. We relax out. So this is just a little lat stretch. Whoa. So tie it through the left hand side. So with this stretch, hands on the ball. So my left hand side is tighter, so left hand on the ball, right hand on top. I'm going to sink down into it, sit back onto my heels a little bit, let my head kind of come between my arms, but I'm not forcing it. And then I'm going to pull with the right hand to the right side and swing my hips in the same direction. So I'm trying to lengthen that left side of my body and lats. So swing over. I'm having a look under my left arm, so I'm looking kind of backwards, just to try and exaggerate that movement. And yeah, that left lat is tight. So I'm just going to exhale as I go into that pattern, because I want the relaxation, I want the stretch. And now I'm coming out of it. Easing off, and I prefer to do sort of more of a contract relax in terms of stretching. So rather than kind of hold the stretch for any period of time, my body's been fighting off a disease, an illness, a virus, or whatever, and so all I'm after right now is actually get some movement happening. So I prefer to stretch in a way that creates a bit of movement rather than kind of holding a stretch. Holding a stretch like that can become a little bit tiring. So I find movement is really good. Alright, then we'll go into a little kind of back extension flow pattern. So I'm going to go to effectively a reverse Mackenzie push-up. So just gently walk the body forward and take the hips down, bring the rib cage and the chest up, and then just slide backwards. That's quite nice. Oh, it doesn't, again, quite surprised, the body does not feel too stiff actually. A little bit stiff in the back, in this extension, this back extension through here. Hip quads and hip flexors are a bit tight. That's understandable. Moving forward is not too bad. So again, in terms of breath work, so as I come through and into this one, I'm going to breathe in. Exhale to the mid position, so that then I can breathe in. Exhale, breathe in, etc. Yeah, body doesn't feel too stiff through there, so just going to keep going, just keep moving. Obviously with that on, my back felt fine, but in the moving backwards I felt hip flexors and quad a little bit, so we'll give those a little bit of attention right now, just to see how they feel. Okay, yeah, not too bad again, a little bit stiff. So that's kind of like the check-in, so we'll check the other side. You know, is there much difference left to right, or is that pretty symmetrical? It is pretty symmetrical. Not too bad. Again, surprisingly, not too bad. I thought it'd be super stiff, but not that bad at all. Groin, let's have a look at groin. Inner thigh, that can always be a tight one. That feels pretty tight, but I would say historically that is quite a tight area on me. Yeah, that is tight. So again, you can probably spot it because it's tight. Body actually is kind of holding breath, so you've got to consciously think, oh, yeah, breathe out, relax, breathe. Oh, yeah, that's tight. And it feels tighter on the right, although I feel like my form is different left to right, but I'm not going to get too hooked up on it because just need to start moving the body a little bit. Cool, I actually feel surprisingly good for someone who's been unwell. Oh, poor me. Just to prove that not 100%. So I'm a big fan of squats as a movement pattern. You know, obviously the squat is effectively just a resting position. This deep position is a resting position. So using the squat as a kind of pumping movement. If you're well versed at squatting, you do a lot of squatting, and not necessarily just from a weights perspective, but just generally day-to-day activity. We should be squatting daily, right? Because this is a resting position. So there should be times of the day where you actually find yourself resting in this position. Now sometimes I cheat that a little bit and I might sort of be squatting on the sofa. So actually just, in a squat position up on the sofa or just on the floor. with your back up against the sofa. That makes life a little bit more comfortable. But you should be squatting daily. Well, you're definitely squatting daily, it's just the range of motion that changes because you're sitting and standing. So I like using the squat just as a pumping exercise. So I know this isn't going to tire me. Just moving up and down, and you know, I'm not working out, so I'm not worried about technique. You know, that's not a huge focus for me. Just moving the body and yeah, putting some bit of life force, bit of energy back into the system. So, well, you know, I'm paying attention, I guess, to how intense this feels for me. Like, how's my breathing doing? You know, do I feel like my heart is overreacting strongly to the stimulus, or is it okay? You know, do I feel quite comfortable? Is it stressing me out, or am I staying therapeutic? And obviously, I'm going to aim for therapeutic. I'm not here to work out, just here to move the body in a nice way. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. Again, you know, there's no sort of right or wrong thing to do here. It's about feeding your body a little bit, and when your body says, yeah, I've had enough of that, then do something else. You know, you might find that your body says, just lay down now for a few minutes. That's cool, lay down for a few minutes. So, a nice little arm rotation, little torso rotation. You can put as much energy and you want into this. My body wants to keep this light, so that's what I'm going to do. Keep it light. Hands stay nice and light. So you'll feel like your kind of hands get a bit fat as they fill with fluid. Like I said, you can really kind of ramp this up so the hands kind of hit higher up around the body, but I don't fancy doing that. And just allow everything to come to a halt. Always feels quite nice, like that sort of tingling sensation you get when you come to a resting point. That's pretty cool. What else do I feel like doing? I don't honestly know. I think, you know, the body feels a little bit moved, a little bit stretched. Hasn't done any of that stuff for a couple of weeks, so that's quite nice. I think what I might do is might actually use some of this weight stuff. Yeah, okay, so that would be a good thing to do. So I'm going to do some deadlifting. We'll keep that quite light, I think. So I like a big movement like a squat and a deadlift. So good for the arm hormonal system. And also you're using lots of muscles to do this. Cool. So this is not heavy. You know, I'm not looking for a heavy load. It's the same as when I was doing the squat. You're just looking to be able to move, you know, freely and comfortably without too much stress going into the system. So the deadlift, obviously, this puts a little bit of stretch into the hamstring as well. So that's quite a nice check. Just to feel that hamstring get a little bit of stretch on it. In terms of the tempo, so I'm going to try and allow my breathing pace to dictate the speed of the movement. Exhale. Inhale to the top. Exhale. Inhale. belt at the top. So this feels quite nice, like I can feel the body warming up, like the blood flow starting to pump. And I really haven't done any kind of strength work for some time. Yeah, it feels pretty good. In fact, as my body was starting to recover from the COVID, the first thing I did was went for a walk around the garden, which sounds grand. My garden is not that big, and it was not much of a walk, but it was just that, let's get out and just move a little bit of fresh air, a little bit of movement, and then as I started to feel better again, I actually went for a proper walk, probably 20 minute walk maybe. Just moving the body, getting some air in there. Well, that's quite nice. It's got the stuff working a little bit, which is good. But I think that's enough. Had a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a mobilise. Done some big patterns. Did the squat, the deadlift. They're going to use a lot of muscles, move a lot of joints, pump a lot of fluid around the body. So that's good. So if you've been feeling unwell, that's the kind of thing you can get up to, and the kind of philosophies that you can use just in terms of breath work and movement patterns. You don't have to kill yourself. Like, I know some people will feel, if they took some time out to go down the gym and just do this little routine, like it wouldn't be worth it. But it's totally worth it. Just brings the body back online a little bit. Yeah, I feel like I could probably do more, but you've got to be intelligent about these things as you're recovering and say to yourself, okay, no, that's good for the first dip of the toe back into some movement. That's cool, and maybe I'll repeat this, again tomorrow or the day after. Just it gives you like a litmus that sort of says, oh, this is how I feel today doing this. If I repeat this in a couple of days, do I feel markedly better? Because that's the way you know about your performance, right? Is that you repeat the same workout, but it's easier, or your performance is better, or you're able to do a few more repetitions, or a little bit more load, or it doesn't drain you, So all these kind of little individual markers that you're looking at. So I will give this a bash in a couple of days' time. Have a little play around with some of these little movements that we did. Don't do them all, do some of them, do one of them. See how it feels on your body. Rock and roll. Look after yourselves, be kind, be gentle, and until next time.